What made you call the police on your own son? My 17-year-old son Casimir was recording his goodbye message to his girlfriend when the scaffolding collapsed at his school's construction site. By the time they pulled him from the debris, his best friend Theron was gone. After days in the ICU, doctors said Casimir would recover physically. But watching him replay that final video over and over, I knew something fundamental had shifted in his mind. The first few weeks blurred together with Casimir obsessively documenting everything. My husband would find him recording random conversations at 3 a.m., claiming he needed to capture the moments before they disappeared. I kept making his favorite meals, but he was too busy filming his food to eat it. He couldn't stop recording long enough to live. Our grief therapist said trauma could manifest in unusual ways, and Casimir needed time. So we didn't worry when he started interviewing everyone about their worst memories or filling notebooks with timestamps. We thought maybe this documentation was helping him process. On the day he returned to school, Casimir showed up with multiple recording devices, saying he needed to collect what happened there. An odd request, but my husband and I let it slide because what harm could some recordings do? A month later, Casimir walked through the door with equipment I'd never seen before. Electromagnetic field readers, infrared cameras, specialized microphones. He'd spent his entire college fund on them. I forced myself to stay calm, my heart breaking from the desperate sight. The next few days spiraled out of control. Casimir started approaching strangers who'd experienced trauma, claiming he could harvest their temporal residue. He recorded grieving people at funeral homes and accident sites. People started recognizing him as that weird kid with the cameras. My husband found him analyzing hundreds of hours of footage frame by frame. When he asked why, Casimir snapped, "I need to find the pattern." He started sleeping in his car to avoid confrontation. Things got worse when he dropped out of school, claiming it was interfering with his research. He spent every waking hour seeking out tragedy survivors instead. One morning I finally said, "Casimir, you can't capture the past." He screamed, "I'm not trying to capture it, I'm collecting it. The echoes are already fading." The certainty in his voice made me step back. "I'm worried about you," I whispered while he uploaded terabytes of recordings to encrypted drives. 2 weeks after my husband moved to his brother's, Casimir started acting strange. He'd leave for days and return with detailed maps marking high-yield locations. I found his journal filled with profiles of trauma survivors. Subject 47, House Fire 2019, strong electromagnetic signature. One entry read. At dinner, he excitedly told me about a woman at the hospital. She lost 3 family members in 1 year, Casimir said, his eyes glittering. The readings around her were off the charts. The breaking point came when our doorbell rang at 2 a.m. A shaking man stood there with his teenage daughter, holding a stack of printed screenshots. The girl had survived a school shooting the previous year. "Your son's been stalking my daughter for weeks," the father said. Behind them, Casimir appeared from his car, still holding recording equipment. "I wasn't ready for extraction yet," he hissed at me. The girl's mother showed me Casimir's messages. Hundreds of requests to share her temporal fragments. Detailed theories about how trauma creates measurable energy fields. Offers to pay her for recorded sessions. Everything accelerated into a nightmare. The parents threatened legal action while Casimir insisted they were wasting precious resonance. He pulled out a device and aimed it at the girl, yelling, "Just let me record. It's already dissipating." "I mapped your trauma signature," Casimir shrieked. 3 more sessions and I could have isolated Theron's frequency. I was going to reconstruct his final moments. The girl sobbed while her parents called the police. I watched my surviving son completely break from reality. He started grabbing at the girl's belongings, claiming they held residual traces. "These objects absorbed your pain," Casimir wailed. Through tears, I watched him try to scan the terrified girl with multiple devices. "She's generating new trauma right now," the girl's mother screamed. "He's insane." I dialed 911 while Casimir ranted about temporal archaeology. Those minutes waiting for sirens felt like hours. When they finally arrived, they found Casimir calmly explaining his echo theory to the horrified family. "Traumatic events leave measurable imprints," he said reasonably. "Once I collect enough data, I can reconstruct anyone's final moments." The girl threw herself behind the officers while Casimir begged her to understand. "Don't you want to help preserve what happened to you?" Even as they guided him into the ambulance. The girl's family filed a restraining order, and Casimir's been hospitalized for 6 months now. Last time I visited, he whispered that his roommate Lysander had survived a plane crash. He smiled, mentioning the staff didn't check for recording devices during recreational activities. Then he asked if I could bring him some special batteries hidden inside a book. Full story on channel linked below.